Hey everyone, how you doing today? As promised in the daily financial news, we have multiple experts on Thursdays, and this is my week. You see, Dion and I flip every week, so this week we get Dion on our channel, one rental at a time. How you doing, buddy?
Yeah, I'm doing great. Glad to be back.
Excellent, man. So hey, the first thing I want to talk about is I want to thank you. I have some amazing friends. This channel has allowed us to bring on some pretty powerful folks. And as people like yourself have done that, they've all started to contribute to my course, which is called How to Get Started One Rental at a Time. And you now have access to it. You've gone through it, but you've come back and said, you know what, I want to contribute. And we've selected self-management. And I think that's so powerful. I think lots of people do it. And you know what? I have zero experience. So having someone like yourself who does self-management create a section called self-management will be awesome for others. And I got nothing to say on the topic. So I look forward to seeing what you create. What do you got? Let's tease people.
So I'm really happy that I had the chance to go through the course. I'm going to be doing a video of a review of the course, and then I'm excited to be able to provide content for the students, because it's kind of the Cliff Notes version of my review.
Yeah.
Is I've usually been kind of against paying for financial education, because it's so full, the industry is so full of gurus that have a $40,000 3-day course.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the 3-day course, they're selling you their $80,000, whatever is next.
Yeah.
And so with the free content that's out there, people can listen to you 2 or 3 videos every day over the last couple of years and have a really good idea of what to do. Or they spend a little bit of money and they get your concise information narrowed down in an actual structured path of these are the order that you would do things.
Mm-hmm.
And it really opened up my mind. So I appreciate that, because
Cool.
and I've said this once before on your channel, but within like the first 3 or 4 videos, I learned something that made my life so much easier when it comes to comparing deals that I hadn't thought of. And I've been doing this for 10 years.
Nice.
So I think it's really cool that you have experts come in that talk about seller financing and their lane of investing. And you are smarter than I am, because I'm super lazy and I don't want to buy another job. I want to buy an investment, but I self-manage because in the beginning I wanted to do it myself so that I would know when I finally went to a property manager. I will have a property manager someday, but not today. And I want to know if I'm being taken advantage of and what's a reasonable expense when they do the work that it takes to place a tenant or to do a repair or hire a handyman.
Mm-hmm.
And then as I was learning the systems of self-management, I realized I'm working full-time. I run a truck driving school with 60 staff, 4 locations, and it's growing. I'm a single parent with 3 kids, and they're over 18 now, but it didn't get any easier to be a single parent with them over 18. They seem to have more problems than when they were younger.
I was going to say, that doesn't mean anything. It just means more expense.
Right. And sometimes you can see it coming.
Yeah.
But my self-managing systems have it down to such a science that I don't think it's been more than 2 hours in a month for 3 or 4 years. And so I am able to put the systems in really, clear, actionable steps. Mm-hmm. And I'm looking forward to getting that video done and put into your course.
And again, the course by itself is something I was very proud of. I had it out for about a year, probably had about 1,000, maybe 1,100 students in it. And then I was realizing this channel was attracting all of these great folks that had, like you said, their lane. And I was learning, and I'm like, I should just add this to the course. I mean, if they're willing to create it for me, we should just add it, right? Why can't I have a self-managed section in my course, even though I've never done it? I'll just have Dion talk about it. It's okay. Dion's in the course. Dion's in the Facebook group. If you want to ask a question about self-management, you could tag Dion. And it is such a, how good it feels to know that you're attracting other quality people to help more and more people. It's pretty awesome.
Well, and the people that you're attracting are the ones that are wanting to share the information. So your students, the people in your group that reach out, they're going to get an answer.
Yeah.
I mean,
exactly. So I know we're going to get a taste of I think you call it the binder, right? The binder process or whatever you call that. What's it called?
Yeah, and in the course, I'll actually lay out a very detailed, like I'll actually have an example of the binder, and
Perfect.
it is a strategy that gets tenants to request a rent increase and to request longer leases. And
That just doesn't make sense to me, but I look forward to watching it.
so and I wouldn't put the strategy together if it hadn't worked
Yeah.
so far, literally 100% of the time.
Nice.
Um, and it makes the tenants happy and it limits tenant turnover. So that's a part of self-managing is
Oh,
limiting
for
tenant
sure.
turnover because it's expensive as an owner, but it's also a time sink. And since I've got my systems in place, I'm experiencing my second tenant turnover ever
Hmm.
right now, and that's because one person went to the hospital and passed away last year. The spouse stayed there, and then last month she went to assisted care. So I don't know that it's actually a tenant turnover as in like the
Life
actual
event. Yeah.
progression. Exactly.
Yes. Yeah. Though that stuff, it happens to all of us. So yeah, I would not call that a turnover. Certainly not a voluntary turnover, right? They would have stayed if they could. So
No, and I'm making sure I'm being sensitive to the nature of they're aging and one passed
yeah.
away, but I'm excited about this because when I purchased it, it was a property that was rented as a one bedroom to a couple that qualified for one bedroom through Section 8.
Okay.
And I promised them, since they were on fixed income, that I wouldn't be changing their rent. And the guy made a joke. He said, "That's great because I want to live here until I die." And he did. And now it's actually a three bedroom. So I'm relisting it at the new rents
Nice.
and I get to feel good that I didn't raise the rents over,
Yeah.
several, 3 years. And, uh, and now I'm going to benefit from the market rents of a three bedroom.
I'm gonna guess that's a little more.
Yeah, it goes from I think 1,200 to the area average is a little above 1,750.
There you go.
So
Nice. Nice. What's something else we could tease folks that's going to be in this section? Maybe one more little goodie.
So if it was just a section that said self-managing, I think that there's probably some books out there that can kind of cover that. And this is a long title, but self-managing multiple units while you're working full-time as a single parent who's incredibly lazy. So, so
Got
the
it.
systems make it easy.
Yep. Very cool. Very cool. I again, thank you for doing this. Lots of people talk about self-management, and like I said, I don't have any experience. In fact, if I had the unit next door or even that one, I would not self-manage. It's not in my thing, but lots of people want to. And for lots of different reasons, whether it's learning the skill so you're not taking advantage of later. Some people they just like being around folks and fixing stuff and all of that. So to each his own, and to know that there's going to be a self-management section in the course now because of you is awesome.
So there's one other thing that people listening might want to think about is when you're making the decision to self-manage or to have a property manager, the biggest detractor, the reason I don't want to use a property management company is the motivations are in opposition.
Sure.
Uh, Tenant turnover for an owner is expensive, takes a lot of time. Tenant turnover for a property management company is part of the business structure that creates revenue.
Yes.
And so the motivation sometimes isn't whether, because I'm really not much of a people person. I got a commercial driver's license after getting out of the Marine Corps because I get to be alone in a truck. Um, so it cracks everybody up at my school that I run a company where my daily thing is to interact with people. Because I actually have a shirt here under my desk that says "I hate people," and I wish it was a work uniform. But self-managing makes it possible to have more control of tenant turnover and tenant flips. And
Yes.
I know there's some really good property management companies
Yeah.
out there and some that have a pay structure that's not based on getting a whole month's rent when the tenant turnover happens.
Yeah.
And someday I'll probably have that company working for me.
Very cool. Well, Dion, this is a lot of fun. I look forward to episode number 2, where we get to talk about being $1 million in debt. That will be a fun episode. Why don't you tell people where they can find you on YouTube?
It's Dion Talk Financial Freedom. And on Facebook, I'm in the One Rental at a Time group, but the official Bigger Pockets group and the Real Estate Rookie group, Dion McNeely, I try to answer every question that comes my way.
Awesome. Thanks, buddy. Take care.